Anything else you would like to tell all of our wonderful subscribers?
You should come to the next Homesteaders of the Southeast event. It's very laid back, small group. We've talked all day, made new friends, met new people, and just relax. It's not stressful. It's just a relaxed atmosphere where you meet other homesteaders and make friends. So come, meet us.
Dean Family Acres. Hey guys, have you ever been to Croft State Park? This is our first time, but we're looking forward to a great meetup today as we connect with a variety of other people who are interested in homesteading and farming throughout the state of South Carolina, and we might even have a special guest from outside of South Carolina. Y'all tune in and hopefully you enjoy this video.
Actually, I'm
On that side. How's everybody doing? Good, awesome. Well, I'm glad that each and every one of y'all came and showed up to hear a bearded guy talk. The biggest thing is for us to be local and for us to improve the way of living. And for us to always put family first. I know that's key for my family, as well as a lot of other people here, and just making sure that family is most important. With everything else that's crazy going on right now, which we definitely do not want to have a conversation about that, for sure. But with everything else going on, it's very important for us to be able to handle things and do things locally and to take care of our families first. Okay? In regards to who else is here, Will Shillinglaw is right here. Will has Dixie Meadows farm, and Will is kind of in the north central part of South Carolina, right off I-77. And in regards to farming, gardening, that kind of thing, he knows what he's doing. He might not be willing to get up here and talk to you in regards to a group, but if you've got a question about gardening or farming or anything like that, he's the man. Ronnie Williams is over here. Ronnie's from Early Bird Farm SC, and he's kind of in the same general area, north central part of kind of Lancaster County region, and he's been another influential person, and from all the people I've kind of met through Facebook and other social media to this point of homesteading locally, he and I probably connect on the most things in regards to just trees and even landscaping aspect and those kinds of things. Actually, if any of the three of us get on the phone, it's probably going to be a 45-minute conversation, even though we don't mean for it to be. So, and those are just connections that we've been able to make just through social media. And again, there's a lot of really, really good stuff on social media, and that's what we want to focus on. We've got Megan Height from Living the Height Life, Ronnie Williams from Early Bird Farms SC, Jason and Robin from Big Bear Homestead. They'll be coming in at about 11 o'clock because they have a family milk cow, and they're from Georgia, so again, give them a hard time. And then Shelly and Heinz Gromer, they're going to be talking about fermenting and overcoming the fear of fermenting. And so they will actually be down here during the second one. And then Dave and Ashley Bentley here. Dave and Ashley Bentley, they're from Blessed Bentley Homestead, and they're very active on Instagram. And that's how I actually met Dave, and we started talking about a couple different things, and I think we have a lot in common as well, and encourage each other a lot, which is great. I said the Sand Hills region of South Carolina. Is that pretty accurate?
Yep, that's right.
Okay. Everybody kind of has their own definitions. I say lakelands, and people are like, hang on, there's a lot of lakes in South Carolina, so you know. So they're in the Sand Hills region, and they're going to be talking about animals specifically on the homestead. So if that interests you, then I would strongly encourage you to check out their session. And then Megan Height from Living the Height Life, they're from the PD region of South Carolina, and they are actually talking about homesteading off-grid. So I've actually visited their homestead before. They legit are doing things off-grid. I've encouraged Megan multiple times to let Kenneth take a break and hire someone to clear out some trees. Kenneth, I'm still trying, buddy. Yeah, they will talk about that and just their journey and moving from a variety of different places as well. But talking specifically off-grid and starting from raw land. So if that's something that interests you, they'll be right here. So y'all be sure and just kind of stay in this general area.
What off-grid actually is, there's a lot of misconceptions about what off-grid means to different people. And then we're going to go over how we do off-grid and then how you can do off-grid if you wanted to. There are actually 3 main types of off-grid living that most people don't think about. So you can be off-grid as in off your utility bills. That's the main one people think about. You're off power, you're off like city water, city sewage. You don't have any utility bills. I explain that to people as in I can pick up my life and travel to Colorado and I don't have to disconnect anything from anybody. Second off-grid would be off of the medical grid, is what they call it. So you don't have health insurance. You don't have standing doctor's appointments. You don't have yearly checkups, people like that. If you have a medical condition, you can't go medically off the grid. The third off-grid that people don't think about a lot is financially off the grid. That means you don't use banks, you don't take out loans, you don't have credit cards or anything like that. Nobody can financially trace your location. You don't have to do all 3 to be off-grid. There's different points and different ways you could do it. And then how we off-grid ourselves, we live in a travel trailer. It's 40 feet long, Forest River. It's got 2 bedrooms. Declan has his own room, so it's kind of fancy. We have a solar system, so we have 550 watts of solar power, and then 4 6-volt golf cart batteries as a golf cart goes by. And that powers all of our basic needs. If we need anything extra, if I want to use my Instant Pot, if we just need to run extra power for some reason, we'll turn on our generator. And then for water, we do rainwater catchment. So we have a 200-gallon rainwater catchment system that is set up on our rabbit colony. And that does awesome. I don't know if y'all got rain where y'all were in South Carolina the past few days, but it stormed and our barrels are overflowing full of rainwater. So that is amazing. Another one we get is how do we use the bathroom? Everybody wants to know how you do that off-grid. We have composting toilets. They're super simple. They don't have to be fancy. You can buy actual handbooks on how to do composting toilets. My favorite is the Human Manure Handbook. And then for gray water, which is like your shower water, your sink water, wash water is what it's considered. We pour that onto our compost bin, our vegetable compost bin, and it will compost with that. And it keeps the compost nice and moist. If anybody knows anything about compost, you're supposed to wet it down. We just use our gray water. So we try to double everything up. The main thing about off-grid is you want as much redundancy as you can get. Everything needs a backup to your backup. The main reason we chose off-grid, we were off-grid traveling and everything, but we were in Iowa 2 winters ago, and I don't know if y'all remember, but Texas froze, like froze solid. People were freezing to death in their homes because the power company shut their power off. My parents live in Texas. That was the scariest time for me, and I decided I would never live like that. We were done. I would not rely on a power company to provide my power. I would not rely on a water company to have water for my family. My child's life is more important than that. We have had the county come out, and it will vary by mileage depending on where you are in South Carolina, but a lot of counties don't even require you to have permits in South Carolina to build because you're considered a cabin in the woods, a hunting cabin. You're not considered a house if you're not tied to the utility grid. The inspector told us their main thing is to make sure you are safe with your utilities. We don't have utilities, so there's not much he can do for us. So check with your county enforcers. If you want to build a cabin on raw land, you can do it most places in South Carolina without even needing a building inspection. So that is always nice. You don't have to do it. We are working on building us a cabin, so if you're not following our YouTube, you can see the process and how we go through that, but we are going to build a 600 square foot house. We're staying small. We like our small. It's much easier to manage off-grid. If you can do small, stay small. It takes less to heat, takes less to cool, and you can just do it easier.
It was a dream of mine throughout all my youth to have a farm at some point in my life, and I thought it was only going to be a dream until it actually became a reality. Was lucky enough to marry a beautiful lady that shares my love for critters, maybe a little bit more than I do in some cases. We're kind of bad influences on each other in that regard. As we just keep adding on critters and neither one of us tends to say no. She comes from a animal hospital vet tech background, so she's got a lot of the know-how and skill and best practices and treatments for critters, and I just kind of sometimes just follow her lead, most of the time actually. Anything you want to say about your history?
My family came from a lot of hunters, so catching and getting your own food is something I was very accustomed to, butchering animals. So I kind of knew I wanted to continue that in a way that I grew the animal and harvested it myself. So that's kind of what brought a drive in for me as well.
Yeah, like goats. Goats are like nature's bush hog. If you've got an overgrown area, if you can figure out a way to contain them in that, they will not be overgrown for long.
Yeah.
Because they'll take it down. Whether you like it or not. I mean, a big part of our upkeep is fixing fences where the goats have tried to perch up on top of the metal wire fencing, and so they can reach whatever's growing up
Use
here.
a hot wire?
No, not on our pasture.
We were trying to stay away from hot wire for the kids' purposes,
Yeah. We have a
so they didn't
9-year-old
shock
and a
themselves.
7-year-old.
But we do have a hot wire fence for our pigs, an electrical moving one.
So we can
Yes, which works really good.
But you really should
it's
a
just
hot
like
wire with the
a
pig.
cycle.
For the pigs, unless you have a really, really secure fence, they're really good at breaking out. Either do a fence with a line of hot wire on the bottom, or use the movable electric netting, premium one, I don't know, there's other brands.
Okay.
Fencing that you can move around, which is the best option, because you can put them in an area,
Yeah.
let them root that out, let them get all the stuff
Keep
they
moving
can,
it.
and then you can move it again.
Yeah.
And so that we find is the best option for our pigs.
That would be the best for us.
Are you using solar to
Yes.
charge that fence?
Yes.
It's got a little mobile transformer that
Oh,
spikes down into the ground.
that's even better.
Yes, much better. Use the
That's
sun.
even better.
How often do you move them?
Kind of just depends on how the land is looking. Once it's bare within the area, we'll move them.
Anywhere from 1 to 2 weeks for ours. I forget the area size that we have for them. Do you know the measurements?
I don't know, maybe 50 feet by 50 feet.
And how many pigs do you have in that area?
3.
But do they also like having a wooded area?
Yes, absolutely.
To
They'll eat twigs and bushes. Everything that they can reach down will be cleared out for pigs.
Okay, we could put them in there.
If they can reach it, they will eat it.
How big do you let the pigs get inside that? I mean, you know, I've seen pigs as much as 800 and 1,000 pounds.
Yeah. So depends on what the purpose is. For breeding, the best, you don't want the sow to reach over like 450 to 500 pounds just for best health for breeding. For harvesting, try not to let them get over 250 pounds.
Okay.
Personally.
About what age is that, roughly? I know different breeds are going to go different,
Yeah.
but we had a neighbor that had one, and
If
they
you
said
feed all
about a year
grain,
or
you
so.
could probably do it in 8 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we prefer not to. We prefer the foraging option, so it's going to take us a little bit longer, closer to a year
Okay.
or more.
Because I don't have pig scales.
Yeah.
Berkshire pig is the kind that we have. It's a heritage breed. Goes back to I don't know how long that it's been in production, but it's one of the original breeds. It hasn't been interbred and like crossbred for specific characteristics. Back in the late 1800s, early 1900s, it was for conservation status, it was an at-risk breed. There were, I think, fewer than 300 breeding sows at the time, but it really took off in the 1900s and has become a more well-known breed now.
Okay. Approximately how many chickens for a dozen eggs is each?
Well,
on the chicken.
Usually a good chicken will lay an egg a day with breaks here and there. So I would say at least a dozen chickens.
Dozen chickens.
And maybe a few more for just in case. Some breeds go off in the winter, whereas like Buff Orpingtons, those heritage breeds, Rhode Island Reds, Leghorns, they will continue to lay through the winter.
Chicken's gonna chicken.
Right.
And they're little dinosaurs, man. They're pretty hardy and handle it.
I know quail, if you're into that, they are also very prolific eggers, and the meat on them, you'll get more meat on a quail than you would a chicken per se. I know they're smaller, but the meat that you get off of them is more from a chicken, and very easy to keep. They do eat a little bit more than chickens, but you get an egg a day from them. And they were getting our guinea fowl that we had. They wandered off a lot further than the chickens, though, the guinea fowl. So I think that's why they got picked off. But since we got our dogs, our LGB dogs, we haven't had any issues.
We lost several ducks last year to fox or coyote. Before our LGB was old enough to do his job. No, but it's close.
Goose.
Yes.
Noah had a
The
duck.
goose was the first domesticated bird.
Noah had a duck. It was domesticated.
It was a dove. That's fine. All right.
And just some ending trivia or ending fun fact: about a 1,000-pound cow on a given day will eat 2% of its body weight. So that's 20 pounds of grass, which is basically once you mowed a push mower a full day and you filled up the bag, that's maybe 20 pounds. That's how much grass a cow.
Ooh,
Yeah.
So thanks y'all for joining our breakout session.
Thank you.
All right, guys, so we're here at Homesteaders of the Southeast, and I've got Shannon Mrzinski here, and she's just going to introduce herself and just talk a little bit about their channel and also what they have going on.
Hi guys, my channel is Mrzinski Family Homestead, and we are currently in the process of building our off-grid property. Well, the property's already there.
It's already off-grid. Y'all are just going to be moving on it, right?
Exactly. The first thing that went on it was our garden. Our garden is doing wonderful. We have a beautiful garden, and the next thing that's going up is my garden shed, because I don't like transporting everything back and forth. So we're going to put some kind of building on there to do the rainwater and the solar and all that good stuff.
And that'll be the first structure on the property, correct?
The first structure.
Okay, cool. Anything else on the horizon in regards to, you're going to build your first structure?
Mm-hmm.
You guys are hoping to be completely off-grid? Like, are you talking like Megan and them with solar, water catchment, composting toilets, that kind of thing? Or are y'all kind of going to be...
My husband has announced that it's going to be completely off-grid, but
He's not here, so you give us the official.
I have 2 young girls that are going to tell their daddy otherwise.
Okay. Sometimes those ways end up modifying and working the angles there.
Half and half, I'm gonna say.
There you go. Well, cool. Well, that's the cool part about starting from scratch as well. Like, I mean, you can kind of work around it and that kind of thing. It's just a matter of working through regulations and check marks and all that kind of thing. I know Megan and them had a time with getting just a permit, and then they could kind of hit the ground running. So just working through that. So, well, cool. Well, if you haven't already, check their channel out. It's Mrzinski Family Homestead.
Yes.
And like I said, they're about an hour from us in South Carolina. So again, it's another great South Carolina channel. So be sure and check them out.
I'm Shannon with Swamp Stalker Outdoors, and basically, you want to ask me the question. I mean, I guess what I'm getting out of this is, just meeting like-minded people. I got an outdoor channel, obviously, and but I've done homesteading for years. We've been active in 4-H, and we actually run Osceola County Fair in Florida, and so we're real into the gardening and homesteading and animal husbandry. But just kind of just meeting people and, you know, just learn a little bit from everybody else.
Cool. All right, guys, so we're here at Homesteaders of the Southeast, and guess who we ran into?
Hi!
So, for those of you who don't know, she's friends with everyone, and this is Megan Height, and her husband, Kenneth. So we seem to run into them in a lot of different places. Number one, because they know that South Carolina is the best state, not Georgia. That will tie in later somewhere in the video if it hasn't already. So just wanted to just give you guys an update, and y'all are going to do what today?
We're going to get a new meat rabbit. We're excited.
So you're paying to eat a rabbit?
We're paying to buy a rabbit to breed to eat more rabbits.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, well, cool.
Did you know we're originally from Georgia?
I know, that's why.
Okay.
Because you've converted, you know which is best.
We did convert.
Yeah.
Both born and raised in Georgia, though.
I know. I was signing it in. I knew his background information.
Okay.
So, you presented today.
I did.
Kenneth, how well did she do?
Choose your words carefully.
She did good. Well, I walked up because I was trying to go in between everybody's sessions, and asked Kenneth if he was fact checking over there, because you know nowadays you got to have a fact checker to make sure whatever anybody says is true or not. So he said that you were doing really well, and that everything seemed to be very accurate.
I couldn't catch her in a lie, man.
You could? That's good. That's good. Well, I thank you for presenting. You were presenting on
Off-grid. So homesteading off the grid was my topic today.
All right. So we thank you for doing that, and for participating, and you know, just caring about homesteading.
Yes.
And you know, in the state, local, even if it's in a particular region, or even if it's just in the state of South Carolina, then we appreciate y'all being willing to do that and take a little bit of time and keep Declan in check the whole time too.
Yes, we've met some good people who are further east where we are. So we've actually met homesteaders around us now. Most of the homesteaders we know are on this side of South Carolina. We don't know that many over there. So we've made more connections today.
We're good.
That's
good.
nice.
And hopefully we can work on a couple of different things and maybe have something close to y'all.
Yes,
so
do it.
There are different things in the works. So.
Yes, awesome.
This is what, like the second or third one of them.
I know.
Yeah.
They need to come out our way.
That's right. We'll work on that eventually. Anything else you would like to tell all of our wonderful subscribers?
You should come to the next Homesteaders of the Southeast event. It's very laid back, small group. We've talked all day, made new friends, met new people, and just relax. It's not stressful. It's just a relaxed atmosphere where you meet other homesteaders and make friends. So come, meet us.
Thank y'all so much. Y'all have a safe trip.
Oh yeah, mulch and stuff around them?
Well, they weren't because we had the battlefield. So we had to set up battlefield.
So I'm here with Dave and Ashley Bentley, and they were actually able to come and do a presentation for us. So I'm just going to let them introduce themselves and just tell a little bit about what they do and where you can find out more information about them and what they're appreciating about this event.
Thanks, Matt. I'm Dave. This is my beautiful and talented wife, Ashley. We are Bentley Critters from Blessed Bentley Homestead. You can find us on Instagram. I'm at Dirt and Sawdust, at Bentley Critters, at Blessed Bentley Homestead. So what we're all about being a self-sufficient, functional farm, from livestock to vegetables, trying to live on the land as much as we can, and doing it the right way, as chemical free as we possibly can, both with animals as well as with plants, and staying focused on God throughout.
Can you just share with us what you've enjoyed about this event?
Sure. I'd say my favorite part has been just connecting with other people in our homesteading farming community. Hearing thoughts, feedback, ideas on things that they're doing on their homestead and farm that we can try to integrate into our own.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing that I heard just from talking with other people about getting this started is trying to keep it local.
Yeah.
You know, and in regards to one thing that might work where you are might not even work where I am, even though we're, you know, probably 3 hours apart, but you kind of learn from that, and the closer you are, the better. And trying to network and have those things definitely.
Well, the local connections are great because, you know, we might be able to help you out with this, and, you know, you might be able to help us with something else. So it's really good to have that local connection.
Yeah, awesome. Really great to finally meet you in person. And
likewise.
Appreciate you always
Absolutely.
preaching a good word.
Amen, brother.
So thank you. It's the biggest part, man, for sure.
Stop, because he's going to sit.
Hey guys, Matt Dean here with Dean Family Acres, and just want to let y'all know that we had an absolute blast at Homesteaders of the Southeast today. We met some absolutely great folks and enjoyed our day. We were just talking in the car on the way out. The road out is a little bit longer than you would expect for this to be right outside of Spartanburg, but we were talking that, you know, just a variety of groups of people and how we all connect with each other in different ways. And I think that that's huge, especially from a local perspective, and us trying to do that in so many different ways. So for each and every one of you that came out, thanks for coming. I know y'all each had a great time. And for those of you who didn't come or maybe missed out on getting tickets, look forward to the next one. Hopefully each and every one of us will be able to connect in a different way, whether it be on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or in person at a meetup. So we're looking forward to that. Also want to just say thank you to each and every presenter who presented. That was awesome. Thank y'all for being willing to do that and come out and just give support to this cause that we're working towards. And for us all having a good group of people to connect with. Again, y'all have a blessed day. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully you enjoyed your time.